At various points in my brief existence of 22 years on this magical blue orb, I've noticed a crippling state of anxiety that often arises when I want to try something new. It's a small yet compelling voice in my head that says, "Who do you think you are?" or "What makes you qualified to do said task?" And if I'm being completely honest, even something like YouTube. I never envisioned myself making these videos on this app when I was growing up, and this does quite feel like a side quest aside from my musical aspirations most days. In any case, it did take a lot to get to 600 subscribers, and honestly, most of the work was reminding myself that, it really ain't that deep. I usually have to remind myself that whether it be a video like this one that you're currently watching, or an Instagram post, or a small update on a freaking family group chat, it really isn't what our minds make of it. And I think, for me, one of the ways I've been able to put up what I'd consider a good fight is in the realization that I won't be on this earth one day. And I often don't like to quote things that I've seen on Instagram, mainly because it's kind of hard to fact check things nowadays. You know how it goes. That said, I read a quote by Keanu Reeves that struck me, and it reads, "None of us are getting out of here alive, so please stop treating yourself like an afterthought. Eat the delicious food, walk in the sunshine, jump in the ocean, say the truth that you're carrying in your heart like a hidden treasure. Be silly, be kind, and be weird. There is no time for anything else." And in my interpretation of this quote, I believe it all comes down to the following four words, which I will repeat for the second time. It's not that deep. And I think that's the truth that we often forget. We tend to build these invisible walls around ourselves, convincing ourselves that every little thing we do has to be perfect, has to be calculated, and has to be pre-approved before we ever even take the first step. But in reality, most of the things that we stress about won't even matter a month from now, let alone a year. And the fear of looking stupid, of failing, of being seen trying. I think it's good to ask ourselves, are those reasons valid enough to hold us back from what it is in our hearts? Because at the core of it all, the people we think that are watching or judging, they too are caught up with their own lives, fighting their own battles, overthinking their own posts and their own choices, their own dreams. So whether it's making a video, picking up an instrument again, starting a new hobby, or simply speaking your mind, just do it. Not for validation, not for perfection, not for anything else but the fact that you can. And because when you strip away all the unnecessary pressure, all the self-doubt, all the overthinking, what you're truly left with is freedom. And freedom, that's what makes life truly worth living. So yeah, one more time for the people in the back. It's not that deep.